Beets. They are not very popular and they are kind of ugly, but I love them and I just want to share my weird obsession with you. Beets are root crops and can be a bit tricky to grow, especially if you have heavy clay soil. But honestly, I don't think they are as tricky as carrots. Hi, I'm Amy from Fox Run, and today I'm sharing with you all my secrets about growing great beets and my favorite varieties. Secret one, and hopefully this is not a secret. The tops or leaves of the beet can be eaten and taste fabulous in spring salads. Bull's blood is a variety that is grown for its leaf production. In fact, the roots of this variety are a bit fibrous and not as tasty. Do you have livestock? Because I can tell you that my goats and rabbits loved these beets. These are Chioggia beets, sometimes called candy stripes. They are an old Italian variety and take only 55 days to mature. They have a sweet, mild flavor, and the beets I was raised on. Also, if you don't like having beets bleed all over your counters during prep time, then Chioggas are for you. Yellow beets have a great beet flavor. They do bleed yellow, but somehow that seems less messy. Golden Detroit is a standout variety. However, for the past couple of years, I have grown Boulder, which produces a very nice cooking beet. Detroit Dark Red is a standby variety for the classic red beet. They are a bit messy, but worth it. Red Ace and Ruby Queen are both excellent varieties to grow. Beet seeds are not too small and they are bumpy, so pretty easy to handle. So here's the interesting thing: that bumpy shell contains 2 to 5 embryos, the part that becomes a seedling. So you will have to thin your beet seedlings when they are about 3 inches tall. Thinning is a bit of a pain. I just want you to focus on the fact that the seedlings taste delicious and are great in a salad. Beets are cool weather plants and can be planted about a month before the last expected frost. So I like to push the seasons a bit. For Zone 6B, I plant beets outside their cover around March 15th. In late August, I start planting them again under shade cloth. I have an extensive article on the website about my planting schedule for Zone 6B, where I spent 20 plus years farming. I'll link it below. So, beets are great for succession planting, no matter what zone you're in, for a spring and fall crop. Plant a short row every 3 weeks to keep your family in roots and leaves. I just make a shallow trench about a ½ inch deep and put the seeds in. Did I mention beets like cool weather and shade? Beets will do fine with morning sun and afternoon shade. If you have that spot, you can probably get them to grow all summer. This is me, an example of why you need to thin. If you don't thin, then you will get more leaves and smaller roots, which isn't a crime, just how they are. When you thin, just take a pair of scissors and snip them off. One, it's faster, and two, it doesn't disturb the other babies. Beets are root crops, and as you would expect, they need light, fluffy soil. So till if you need to. Add lots of well aged compost and some green sand. A pH between 6.5 and 6.8 is ideal. Add lime if your soil is more acidic. I hope you are getting lots of good information so far. Please boop that like button to help me grow on YouTube. Also, I appreciate everyone who votes on the questions in the community tab. It helps a lot. I love raised beds for root crops, especially ones I plant in spring. With raised beds, you can really tailor the soil so they don't have any obstructions. My raised beds are 10 inches deep and filled with compost, potting soil, peat, and sometimes sand. The square foot garden method works well for beets as long as the soil is deep and fluffy, 9 beets per square. Put them in a covered raised bed and you can adjust the top for garden fabric in early spring to shade cloth in late summer. If the days are above 85 degrees, then I often place hoops and shade cloth over the bed. This will also protect the seeds from birds. You can plant beets in containers and grow bags. For a 7-gallon grow bag or pot, place 9 seeds. Remember, you still need to thin. Beets need moisture, so especially as the weather warms, make sure their bed is moist, not overly wet. Root crops don't like lots of nitrogen, so I typically go easy on the fish emulsion for them. One time, about halfway through their growth. Beets in particular are sensitive to a deficiency in boron. If your soil is low in boron, sprinkle lightly some borax. Don't overdo it. Buckwheat is a great cover crop that really breaks up the soil. It's a warm weather crop that needs 2 months to grow. I plant buckwheat in early June in a section of the garden where I plan to grow a fall root crop. After the buckwheat flowers, but before it produces seed heads, you will dig it under. Tilling or digging by hand both work well to incorporate it into the soil. Wait 10 to 14 days and let the buckwheat start to decompose. You are now ready to sow your fall root crops. So, I want to talk about sugar beets and mangels for a minute. Sugar beets are grown commercially for sugar, and in today's world are GMO crops. Related to sugar beets are mangels. Mangels have been around for hundreds of years as livestock food. They both have a large white root and have more fiber than garden beets, which makes them tougher. If you are raising livestock and you want to cut down on feed costs, then mangels are a great food source. You can also plant a bed down near the woods for your local wildlife. My fawns in rehabilitation love them. That said, groundhogs will sometimes get into the beet bed, so fencing is a good idea. Beets are great for chickens as well as ducks. Beets can be fed raw or cooked. If you feed them raw, cut them in half and they will enjoy pecking away at them. Beets generally take 55 to 65 days to mature. If your soil is light, you can just grab the roots down near the base and gently pull. I'm not sure why this guy is digging them out, but that's an option too. Beet health drinks are all the rage. Add some cooked beets, ginger, garlic, and lemon to a blender. Blend till smooth and add some ice, and you have a fabulous summer health drink. Bake a beet and then cut it into slices to use for sandwiches. You can also grate cooked beets for a hamburger substitute. Beets are also great for French fries. They pair well with goat cheese, mandarin oranges, and fennel. Beet leaves can be eaten any way you use salad greens. They are related to chard, and the greens can also be sauteed or steamed. I love beets. If you grow them this season, let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching and have a fabulous day.